Well, hello, my YouTube fellas and gals. So today we are still in action and suspense. We are on lot 54, and this is book number 1. And if you're new to my channel, Only Used Bookstore, you can find me on Minda's Bookstore and more on Facebook or tammysmakeuptreats@gmail.com. And if you don't want to buy books, that's okay too. I'm a resource center. If you have a Kindle or a Nook, you weren't interested in any of these books, you can go find them. And I will list the ISBN numbers below. I do 10 books at a time. Today's books are all softbacks, and I read the synopsises so you know what you're getting. So here we go for book number 1. This is called Pressure Point by Dick. I think it's Couch or Koch. I don't know how they pronounce his last name. But I clean the books up, make sure there's no ripped pages so that you get the most out of your book. And this is a 1992 copyright. And this is what book 1's about. Sorry for glares. Riding quietly at her moorings on Puget Sound, the U.S. Navy's deadly weapon, the Trident submarine, waits for her return to the sea. But an Arab terrorist known as the Shadow has targeted the USS Michigan with nearly 300 nuclear warheads nestled in its missile silos. He intends to take the deadliest weapon of the Cold War and turn it into the deadliest dirty bomb conceivable. By hijacking the Spokane flagship of the nation's largest ferry fleet, the nation, caught by surprise, sends a select team of Navy SEALs to stop the Shadow. They are aided by the savvy FBI agent and the ferry's captain, Ross Peck. Unless the U.S. wields its political might to support his terrorist brothers in the Middle East, the Shadow will unleash a radiological holocaust and a nightmare beyond imagining. So there you go, book number 1. And if you know any bookworms out there, share it out. Share me out so they can come check this out, so they can find good books. So with that, that's book number 1. Book number 2, we have The Murder Book by Jonathan Kellerman. This is a 2002 copyright. It's got a little bit of ripples in the back. Definitely well loved and read. This is about an LA psychologist detective, Alex Delaware, has received a strange anonymous package in the mail. Inside is an album filled with gruesome crime scene photos. When his old friend and colleague, homicide detective Milo Sturgis, views the compendium of death, he is immediately shaken by one of the images, a young woman tortured, strangled, and dumped near a freeway ramp. The murder was one of Milo's first cases as a rookie homicide cop, a vicious killing that he failed to solve, and has haunted him ever since. Now, 2 decades later, someone has chosen to stir up the past. As Alex and Milo set out to uncover what really happened 20 years ago, their relentless investigation reaches deep into the LA's nerve centers of power and wealth, past and present. While peeling back layer after layer of ugly secrets, they discovered that the murder of one forgotten girl has chilling ramifications that extend far beyond the tragic loss of a single life. That sounds interesting. That is book number 2. Book number 3, Death and the Devil's Acre. This is by Anne Perry. This is a 1985 copyright. It's got a little bit of writing in front. This is what it's about. When a doctor is found brutally murdered in the Lord section of London, aptly named Devil's Acre, even its most hardened residents are stunned. But shock soon turns to horror when Inspector Pitt discovers 3 more bodies with the same gruesome calling card, a stab wound in the back, and a rather inexpertly executed mutilation. As Pitt and his wife Charlotte race against time to find the killer, a treacherous mystery unfolds, and no one, not the lowest brand of ruffian or the most established aristocrat, will come out unscathed. So there you go, book number 3. Book number 4, we have Infiltrations by Mark D. Harrell. It is a 1991 copyright. It's got some writing there. It's definitely got some aged pages. And this is what it's about. It is every American's nightmare. A grueling one-on-one battle waged in the U.S. soil. The crisis, the abduction of a nuclear scientist, the players, Captain Matt McIntyre's Special Forces A-Team, and the Soviet elite Spetsnaz commandos. The book, a masterpiece of military suspense so chillingly real, it could only have been written by Mark D. Harrell, an actual A-Team commander in the Special Force Reserve. So there you go. That is book number 4. Book number 5, we have Forged in Honor by Leonard B. Scott. That's what it looks like. Some age pages here. It's a 1995 copyright, and this is the synopsis, what the book is about. After the American embassy in Burma is bombed, retired Special Forces Colonel Joshua Hawkins is recalled to active duty by order of the President. A secret government mission will require the intimate knowledge of the exotic country that only Hawkins can provide. He has a special bond with the Shan, the proud and independent mountain tribe of northern Burma. Having trained as a warrior with his friend Stephen, the son of Shan warlord, becoming a horseman of the Shan Hill people and earning the coveted warrior's silver bracelet forged in honor that he still wears. Now Hawkins is called again to serve his country, to save his Shan friend, and to help the brave people he has never forgotten in their fight against the corrupt government and a ruthless heroin syndicate. It's a big job, but Hawkins and his men are up to it and not above using frontier justice to teach the despots a thing or two, the old-fashioned way. So there you go, book number 5. Book number 6, we have a nice big thick book by Tom Clancy. This is The Sum of All Fears. Definitely has been well read. This is what it looks like. It's got some age pages. It is a 1991 copyright. It's got a little bit of a stain right there. Other than that, it looks pretty good and well read. And this is what it is about. Let's see here. Maybe, maybe not. Let me see here. The sum of all fears. The Gulf War is over. An Israeli nuclear weapon is missing. The balance of power in the Mideast and the world is about to change forever. Only Tom Clancy could create an international scenario so real, so dramatic, so brilliantly intense as the epic crisis portrayed in The Sum of All Fears. CIA Deputy Director Jack Ryan, hero of The Hunt for Red October and the Patriot Games, returns in this breathtaking tour of D-Force of military action, cutting-edge technology, and raw emotional power. And that's all it gives you. There's no synopsis on the back. It gives quotes by people who have read the book, but that's all you get. Looks like a good book, though. So there you go, book 6. Some people like those big, thick books. Book number 7. Some of these books might have like a sci-fi tendency, but they're still, I don't have a sci-fi section, so I just put them in action and suspense because to me, they're kind of like Edge of the Cedars too. So this here is a 1992 copyright. This is called Farnham's Freehold by Robert A. Heinlein. It's got a little bit of writing there. This is what it's about. Hugh Farnham was a practical, self-made man, and when he saw the clouds of a nuclear war gathering, he built a bomb shelter under his house. Hoping for peace and preparing for war, what he hadn't expected was when the apocalypse came. A thermonuclear blast would tear apart the fabric of time and hurt his shelter into a world with no sign of other human beings. But Farnham's small group had barely settled down to a backbreaking business of low-tech survival when they found they were not alone after all. The same nuclear war that had catapulted Farnham 2,000 years into the future had destroyed all civilization in the Northern Hemisphere, and the world had changed in more ways than one. In the New World Order, Farnham and his family, being members of the race that had nearly destroyed the world, were fit only to be slaves. After surviving a nuclear war, Farnham had no intention of being anybody's slave, but the tyrannical power of the chosen race reached throughout the world. Even if he managed to escape, where could he run to? So there you go. And the question is, you would have peace, then prepare for war. Very interesting. Book number 7. Book number 8, we have Separation of Power by Vince Flynn. This is what the book looks like. It is a 2001 copyright, and this is what it's about. Newly appointed CIA Director Dawn Irene Kennedy is the target of an insane plot to destroy her and prematurely end the American president's term. To make matters worse, Saddam Hussein is close to entering the nuclear arms race, something Israel has vowed to stop. With the haunting specter of World War III looming, the president calls on his secret weapon, top counterterrorism operative Mitch Rapp. But with only 2 weeks to take out the nukes, Rapp is up against a ticking clock and impossible odds. From the deadly alleys of Baghdad to the corrupt, riddled streets of Washington, D.C., Separation of Power is Vince Flynn at his shell-shocking best, filled with the true-to-life insider detail and action that sizzles. Ew. So there you go. Book 8. Book number 9, we have The Scope of Justice by Michael Z. Williamson. This is what this looks like. And it's a 2004 copyright. This is what it's about. One shot, one kill. It is the code of the sniper, a lone professional and military organization that prides itself on teamwork and strength in numbers. Feared by his enemies and distrusted by his allies, the sniper can turn tides and win battles or lose them with a single bullet. A deadly sharpshooter haunted by a botched mission in Bosnia, SFC Kyle Monroe, must now pay for his sins in the worst place on earth. Dispatched to the mountains of Pakistan as part of a 2-man hunt killer team, Monroe's assignment is to take a terrorist leader out of the game before the target can mastermind the wholesale slaughter of Western innocents. But in a backward wasteland of shifting alliances, ancient tribal rivalries, treacherous betrayers, and blood vendettas, staying alive long enough to reach his goal may be the most difficult part of the job, because the sniper is always alone in hostile territory with no guaranteed way back when the kill goes down. So there you go. Book 9. Book number 10, Season's Revenge. Look at that. Henry Kisor. This has got feet sticking out of a tent. It's lit up with Christmas lights. That does not look good. This is a warped little, like, bent-up book. 2003 copyright. This is what it looks like. It's in good shape, though. It's just well read. And this is what it's about. 'Tis the weeks before Christmas in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and some big events are stirring for Lakota Deputy Sheriff Steve Martinez. The normally sleepy woodland area is uncharacteristically alive with activity after the body of one of its most respected residents is found at a forest campsite, the victim of what looks to be a bear attack. But from the moment he arrives on the crime scene, things just don't add up for Steve Martinez, led by curiosity. Steve begins an unofficial investigation and discovers that this random animal attack might not be so random after all. It seems that quite a few people in town had reason to do in the victim, and the more Steve investigates, the deeper he sinks into a mystery as old as the town itself. So there you go. All 10 books. So whatever time zone you're in, I hope you're having a great one. Don't forget to check the description below, and I'll see you soon. Bye.